We live in amazing times. These times are the most amazing times ever. I remember like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I was in a campfire. And I go, isn't it cool? We live in amazing times, the most amazing times ever. And some kid was like, what? What are you talking about? We don't live in amazing times. And if anybody's out there like, what? We don't live in amazing times. I'm going to say that, yeah, well, yes, we do live in the most amazing of times. And what are the ramifications of that? Now, there are amazing times. The whole concept of amazing times is very real. There's certain times in history that are lulled and there's nothing going on. Then all of a sudden there's something going on. 2,000 years ago is a perfect example of that. Everybody knows who Julius Caesar was. Julius Caesar, and that was when Julius Caesar was the person who expanded the Roman Empire, like doubled it. He brought France into it, Spain. And then the Roman Republic turned into a Roman Empire, and then everybody's heard of Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Well, all three of those people knew each other. They're all friends. And then also Herod the Great was friends with them. They all knew each other. They all lived the exact same time. And, Octavius Caesar, Augustus Caesar was, the adopted son of Julius Caesar, and he was the one who built Rome. He was the one who made Rome the great city it was. When he inherited it, it was a city of stone, and when he died, it was a city of marble. And Herod did the same exact thing in Jerusalem, or I don't know if it was Jerusalem, but he built all those works, and he turned, Israel into a major industry. So all that happened all at the same time. So that was an amazing time. And whoever lived at that time lived in amazing times, and I'm sure they knew it when it happened. And in fact, that was the time of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ lived like 40 years after Julius Caesar. So then there was Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. They knew each other. They used to fight all the time. They hated each other's guts. And that was the time of the Renaissance. And 1492, lots of amazing things happened then. The Spanish Inquisition, Columbus discovering America. I think the printing press was just a few years before that. And then the Industrial Revolution, all this stuff's invented at the same time. 500 BC, the Buddha lived at the same time as Socrates and Plato, and even 3600 BC, the Mayan calendar says that's when the time began, the modern day age, and that's exactly the same year that the Indus Valley started, and that's the same time that summer started, and the Indus Valley weren't trading with summer. So how did all this stuff happen at the same time? Well, how? That's another video. And I think it's extra energy coming from the stars, which unravels our DNA and wakes us up, and also just all of the souls together going, okay, we have the energy, let's go do it. So people are products of their time. But I think now is an example of one of those times, and actually the most important of all of those times, those amazing times I'm speaking of. We live in amazing times now. The reason I believe that is because, it was prophesied by the Mayan calendar. Everybody knows about that, December 21st, 2012. My mama's birthday. Which is exactly 2,000 years after Jesus Christ, which is a astrological age. But anyways, this is the time where the whole world's coming together. Like, this is when the internet was invented. And one interesting thing I think about is that everybody works the internet like we've always had it. Like, it comes totally naturally to us. When none of the people who are alive today who are controlling the world really were born and raised with any internet at all. But that's another, I'm kind of getting sidetracked. But this is the invention, just 10 years ago, the invention of the internet, which is bringing the whole world together. Everybody's learning English. Everybody's going to be speaking the same language again pretty soon, like before the Tower of Babel. stuff that's happening now is going to create a legacy for thousands and thousands of years. So, like I said, people who live in the times of Julius Caesar, who were household names for thousands and thousands of years, 2,000 years ago, they're still household names. You know, Julius Caesar, Mark Antony, Octavius, you know, Jesus Christ, Mary Magdalene, you know, Mother Mary, you know, Luke, John, Matthew, you know, all those guys, Joseph, uh, you know, all the way down to Julius's, you know, um, slave Apollonius, and you know, I mean, you can go on and on. They became household names for thousands of years. So I think the people who are alive now are household names for thousands of years. I think Madonna, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Michael Jackson, you know, Barack Obama, George Bush, Saddam Hussein, you name them. All the people who are alive now will be household names for thousands of years, because this is such this area, this time period is such a focal point. And so what are the ramifications of that? The ramifications of that is, I think people should try to have legacies. People should try to create legacies. And now if people try to create legacies and do something that's timeless, it will end up helping the world. It'll help us transition into a utopia quicker. But it'll also make you immortal easier, you know. A lot easier than if you do it at any other time. You could be banging your head on the wall doing something, working good works and whatever 50 years ago, and nobody would ever know about it, you know. But you could not try very hard and become a legend, I think, in these days and times. Like you know, in thousands of years, people are going to want to study, oh, what was it like in those end times? Well, they will go back and they'll watch YouTube videos, and YouTube will still be around then, and these videos will still be there, and they'll search all the videos that were made now. So maybe me, because I have so many different videos, I'll be like something that somebody will study. I'll be one of the, you know, people will study, and so then I'm making myself immortal without even trying. And that's why a lot of these old people in the olden days made temples and stuff. Herod made all those temples, and you know, named them after him, and Solomon made his temple to house the Ark of the Covenant, because it kind of makes the person who made them immortal. You know, everybody knows who Solomon was. Maybe it's because he made the temple of the Ark of the Covenant. So that would be the ramifications of us living in the end times. Is whatever you do now will be in the limelight for thousands and thousands of years. Now, you know, maybe that doesn't matter because you're going to be dead and you're not going to know anyways. But if you believe in reincarnation, and you believe that it's possible to see who you were in a past life, I mean, there's plenty of people. There's lots of people alive now who think they know who they were in the past life. Like David Wilcock thinks he's Edgar Cayce, and if you look photos of those two guys, they look exactly the same. People say that Barack Obama is a reincarnation of Abraham Lincoln, you know, that Jesus was a reincarnation of Isaiah. Well, maybe in the future people will actually, you know, because of the advanced technology, advanced spirituality, and because, you know, advanced, you know, trans alchemy, people have the psychic powers to look back in their past life, and it'll be a lot easier if you're more visible in your past life, and in these end times. So maybe me in the future, I'll be able to find out who I was just by looking at my face and going, ooh, I look like him. He's saying stuff that I kind of remember saying in those times, you know, or that I would say. So I'm going to be him, you know what I mean? And maybe I'd be right, and then that would be really cool. So that's the ramifications of the end times. Now, what exactly are the end times? I think the people who live right in the end times, the people who are getting the good, you know, experience of it, I think are people exactly my age. I'm 35, born in 73. I did not use internet my whole time in college. There was, like, when I was ending college, we had an internet like room we would have to go to and use the common computers to do the internet. But like, there was no internet at all when I was in high school, like at all. My mom had a modem in the basement, but I never used it. So like I get to experience going from the dark ages before internet and then experiencing the internet, and then I'll live long enough to get the whole, until it's totally internet, with like your little cell phone that can do the internet. So, so yes, I think we live in the end times right now. So make something of it. Make it a legacy. Make yourself a legacy.